What's up? A to Z Sports Live on a Wednesday. Going to have a big show as John Robinson, Titans GM, spoke to the media via Zoom yesterday, a 37-minute conversation, a lot of topics covered. But Zach and I felt like there were two main topics about that press conference, one being Isaiah Wilson. So Buck talked about Isaiah Wilson last night. We will talk about Isaiah Wilson and his future later on in today's show, where we will play video from John Robinson. Today's Wednesday, so that means throwing shade. John Robinson is actually throwing shade today here on the show. So looking forward to playing you a video from that conversation, having our own discussion about Isaiah Wilson and his future. But it's all about J.J. Watt to start because the Titans confirmed they are in on J.J. Watt. To what extent? We will have that conversation too. And what other teams are in on J.J. Watt? One NFL team says they're going all in on adding J.J. Watt. And J.J. Watt also has some prerequisites to what team he wants to join this offseason as the Texans cut him officially on Friday. And then, Zach, it is shade. I feel like both of us are loaded with shade today. So it's going to be a big-time show here on this Wednesday. And we'll see. This was supposed to be Zach's last show of the week. He was supposed to take a flight tomorrow morning. We'll see if that happens. But, Zach, welcome into a maybe Friday, but most likely a Wednesday for you.
Yeah, it's not looking good.
No.
The damn snow is really getting in my way. But that's just the way the cookie crumbles. But, hey, the flight's still on. It's on time. I checked it. I just checked in. So, we'll pray to the man above and see if that happens. I'm going to need some luck on my side and some salt on the runways. But before we get going, hey, we are going to have a great show today. We are loaded with content, Titans content. It's kind of a Titans Wednesday before Titans Thursday because of the press conference yesterday. And I'm going atomic shade today. Atomic. That is referencing an atomic bomb, which will destroy everybody. That
including
is
yourself?
My shade. Possibly so. Who knows?
Okay.
Who knows? I've already kind of destroyed myself with this damn snow canceling my flight, possibly. So, yeah, I'm in there already because of that shade. So, massive show. Get your popcorn ready from start all the way to the finish. Before we get started, though, subscribe to our YouTube channel. We're doing more things on YouTube, including broadcasting live here. Also on Twitter, retweet the show. We need to pop up in your Twitter followers timeline. On Twitch, if you're a gamer, if you're like watching this show, you can watch it on that platform. And on Facebook, more people will pile in over the next 5 to 10 minutes. As you guys do, please share the show on Facebook, bottom left corner of your screen. Share now to public. It's that simple. Share now to public. Share around. We need to pop up in your Facebook friends news feed. And Austin, let's get this party started on a Wednesday.
Yep, let's get it going officially. Welcome to A to Z Sports, powered by BetMGM. I'm Austin Stanley. He is Zach Bingham. Make sure you follow us on Twitter at A to Z Sports, YouTube, Facebook, everywhere, Instagram, Twitch. We're Nashville's on-demand sports talk network, and we go live every weekday morning at 8 Central Time. Got to thank our sponsors because they make it happen for our show, and they help out you guys. Renters Warehouse Nashville, the professional landlords in the Nashville area at renterswarehouse.com. Mandu, the pulse of fitness, where your first workout is free, mandu.com to check them out there. Wilson County Hyundai for your brand new or pre-owned vehicle. Check them out at wilsoncountyhyundai.com. Calvin and Subtle for your new hardwood floors and finishings at calvinandsettle.com. And the Bone and Joint Institute, whenever that injury happens, and unfortunately injuries have risen in the Nashville area because of the ice, boneandjointtn.org. Whenever that injury happens, make sure you know where to go, boneandjointtn.org. Zach, no injuries from you, because we all know if you watch this show for several years, Zach, you are injury prone, whether it's on the basketball court or on the sidewalk or the sidewalk down in Fort Lauderdale. Zach, you are injury prone, but no injuries from the ice yet.
No injuries from the ice. Well, I've slipped, but I'm not injured. It didn't hurt me. And, with all this shade and all these things going on, I want to shout out BetMGM because I am on a heater, a straight heater. Give me a 2-game parlay last night at NBA overs that netted me $235.
Nice.
It was a great night. It was a great night. You got to watch the NBA close. This is why I love the NBA so much. I do. I am all in on regular season basketball, and now BetMGM has gotten me more in on regular season basketball. Shout out to our guys, Alan Bell and Brian Edwards. They tipped one of those overs off. I parlayed that into a nice little penny last night. I am climbing, baby. Zach, and that's thanks to BetMGM, and that's thanks to our promo code ATOZ Sports.
Yeah, and Alan and Brian, I won 3 bets last night just because of what they said on A to Z Sports picks. I took Dayton plus 3.5, like Alan said. I took Purdue minus 5.5, and I took the over in the Phoenix Brooklyn game, like Brian gave out. So winners there, winners all around. A to Z Sports picks will be back on Friday afternoon to give us more weekend action. So, all right, Zach, let's talk about J.J. Watt action. J.J. Watt, the Titans are confirmed yesterday that they are in on J.J. Watt. That news that he was cut broke during our show last Friday, that the Texans cut him. And we had a quick discussion on whether you guys would be in or out on J.J. Watt as a Titan. Let's just send it to John Robinson for his answer yesterday when asked by Terry McCormick if they had talked with J.J. Watt about joining the Titans.
Have you guys had any contact with his representatives or anything like that at this point, or is it still wait and see until the cap is settled?
Yeah, no, great question. He probably doesn't remember, but I actually worked him out when I was with the Patriots. When he was coming out of college, he pushed me around on the field pretty good for about 2 hours. So, yeah, we've had some contact. It's early in the stages. I think he's having. We obviously know his skill set and what he's meant to the Texans. Having played against him twice, the type of player he is. So we'll just kind of see how it goes. Like a lot of these guys that that are coming available over the next few weeks. See kind of where their interest is, and then make a determination if it's an avenue that hey, we want to go down, and are we a fit potentially for some of these guys that become available.
So that's John Robinson yesterday in his press conference. I do find it interesting that the salary cap has not been set in stone yet. They don't know exactly what the number is going to be, but you can go sign any team minus the Texans can go sign J.J. Watt right now. They don't have to wait for the new league year. They can go agree to terms right now with J.J. Watt if they want to. But I do think it is smart to see what that number is, because you have to know the game you're playing, what number you have to get under for the salary cap purpose.
Well, J.J. Watt's going to do that. That's a J.J. Watt thing. That's not any team. Teams won't be able to sign him because J.J. Watt won't sign, because he's going to let the market do what the market is going to do. And that's smart because he's going to yield a big number. I think J.J. Watt's big decision will be, do I want to go the 1 year route? We talked about Ndamukong Suh when this news broke. I mentioned what he did, went to the Rams for 14 plus, and then have gone back-to-back seasons with the Bucs. That's a good strategy. It got him a Super Bowl, which J.J. Watt is trying to do, and it filled his pockets after he signed his massive contract in Miami, after he got through his rookie deal and another deal through Detroit. So he played that very well. Will J.J. Watt play this very well? You've got to pick and choose your teams very wisely, because it sounds like, which it should be, priority number one for J.J. Watt is to win a Super Bowl. So what team will allow you to do that the best? We know the Chiefs, on paper, not in the Super Bowl, were not very good, right? Like, they were not very good in the Super Bowl, but overall, they're the best team. The Chiefs are the best team. They have the best roster. They have the best quarterback. We all know that. But you've got teams like Buffalo that are climbing the ladder. You've got teams in the NFC if you want to switch conferences. So this is J.J. Watt. The ball is in your court, and this is smart because that's the reason why he asked for his release. Now, the Texans were going to release him because of his number, but this is your opportunity to go ring chasing, as they say. And in the history of the game, you go ring chasing, there's been some success stories with that philosophy.
No doubt. And so the Cleveland Browns jumped up as one of the favorites to land J.J. Watt because it was reported by multiple people. I'm just reading from Phil Yates' tweet of ESPN about J.J. Watt having strong interest in going to Cleveland. Field Yates said yesterday the Browns are really interesting suitor for J.J. Watt, a playoff team poised to improve next year, but in need of more defensive linemen. Also, Cleveland has plenty of cap space to work with, so wouldn't be limited to a one-year small money deal. He'd add a ton to that locker room and to the defense. And Zach, I think the Browns I was higher on than you were when they waxed the Titans back late in the year and got up big in that first half. But the Browns defense was really good. Myles Garrett is a beast, and the rest of their defense is pretty strong. J.J. Watt would help that out. Who knows how we feel about Baker Mayfield continuing down the road, but if J.J. Watt is truly thinking about winning a Super Bowl, there is no way in hell he goes to the Cleveland Browns. There's no way that can happen, regardless of how good or how high of a ceiling you think the Browns have. Like, are you going to put your chips on Baker Mayfield to get you to a ring at 32 years old? Hell no. There are more suitors out there where J.J. Watt can help besides the Cleveland Browns.
Yeah, well, again, it depends on preference. This is J.J. Watt's decision. So, and there are ties. I mean, he has ties to teams. He's got ties to the Titans because he wrecked their lives for so many years. And
it's deeper than that. And
the depth is he gets to play the Houston Texans, which I would say J.J. Watt would agree with Deshaun Watson in the way the Texans organization is being run currently. Not very good. Right.
Well, and half the Titans coaching staff was in Houston too. So there are deep connections for J.J. Watt in Nashville with the Titans that would make a lot of sense. And the Titans and Browns, I think, are both going to be favorites to win their division next year. I believe more in Ryan Tannehill than I do in Baker Mayfield. But the Browns defense overall is way better than the Titans defense currently too.
All right, Austin, let's take a timeout because I want you to read those teams that they released last Friday. And Cleveland, has said that they really want him. But, I mean, who's more likely to win a Super Bowl, Cleveland or Tennessee? The Browns or the Titans, right? If you're J.J. Watt, who do you hitch your wagon to? The Browns made it further in the playoffs than the Titans than the Titans did this past season. I mean, if you're J.J. Watt, who do you think has a better opportunity to get you that ring between those two teams, or is there another team?
Yeah.
Do you really believe that either of those teams can actually win a Super Bowl?
The Titans or the Browns? I mean, it's unlikely just because of the other top-tier teams. And I think the Titans are more trending slightly down. Now, if they get J.J. Watt, that makes them maybe go back the other direction upwards, but the Titans have to replace a lot of productive players that are leaving the roster this year, and they don't have a ton of cap space to do it, where Cleveland is in a better cap salary situation because they've got Nick Chubb on a rookie contract and Baker Mayfield still on a rookie contract, where the Titans are paying Ryan Tannehill and Derrick Henry a combined like $40 to $45 million against the cap, so they don't have that flexibility. So the Browns are probably the better destination than the Titans, but that doesn't mean the Browns are still the right destination for J.J. Watt.
Yeah,
if I'm J.J. Watt.
And then you have Brent bringing in the Steelers have to be the favorite because both of his brothers play there, and you get that feel-good story on top of going to a stable organization with an aging quarterback. Now, there's the caveat there at the end.
And they don't have any insurance to Ben Roethlisberger. There is nobody behind Roethlisberger that could do anything.
Yeah, and the way that Roethlisberger played well the first half of the season, but he regressed, and we know that. Their offense, they gave up on James Conner and Anthony McFarland Jr. Like, they didn't even use them in the running game. They were so pass heavy because they were worried about TikTok dances. And it ended up biting them in the ass in the end. So this is a really interesting conversation. J.J. Watt will be sought out because he is a massive name in the NFL community, right? It goes deeper than that. For what he was J.J. Watt was the face of the league at one point. Would you agree? I mean, for being not a quarterback, for not being a quarterback, the 2 years he won Defensive Player of the Year back to back, it's kind of the same way that Aaron Donald is currently.
Nowhere near face of the league.
Non-quarterback.
Okay, well, that's he wasn't the face of the league. He was up there. He was a big pushing point for the NFL, especially with what he did for the Houston Floods. But
I
you're
don't
jumping.
know if you remember correctly. He was on every damn commercial. He was on. I mean,
so was Baker Mayfield, but that doesn't mean he's the face of the league.
Is Aaron Donald a face of the league?
You said the face of the league. Just like you want to hold me accountable for saying things, I'm going to hold you accountable. J.J. Watt has never been the face of the NFL from a player standpoint. There's been quarterbacks that are bigger and more popular than him, and there always will be. But was he one of the superstars? Absolutely. He was a back-to-back Defensive Player of the Year and is very marketable and played in Houston, which is a top 5 TV market in the country. But in no way was he the face of the NFL. But that's not the point that we're here to discuss.
No, well, and he's gotten older. What is his skills now, and what is his value? That is the key, right?
Yeah.
What is his value? And that's hard to answer.
It is. So here, let's get everybody more involved here. What percentage chance do you think the Titans sign J.J. Watt? And I will read the report from Ed Werder on Friday on the teams interested in J.J. Watt. But what percentage chance do you think the Titans will sign J.J. Watt? But first, let me tell you guys about the Bone and Joint Institute, boneandjointtn.org, the region's destination for comprehensive orthopedic and sports medicine care. Whenever that injury happens in life, you never know when it's going to happen, but you have to know where to go when you're in that situation. And that is if you're in Middle Tennessee, the Bone and Joint Institute does everything for you. They are fantastic. They've got over a dozen doctors that will help you out, get you back to health. And the rehab facility right there in their facility in Franklin is state-of-the-art, brand new. They have great personnel there to help you get back to health right there. boneandjointtn.org. And Zach, just a little tease, Monday, we're having another Doc Talk segment with the Bone and Joint Institute talking about Jayon Brown's elbow and the future of how that injury can impact him in free agency. So Doc Talk segment coming to you on Monday, brought to you by boneandjointtn.org.
Yeah, and Jayon Brown, look, he was having a stellar year before he went down with that elbow injury. Yep. And that's a shame. That definitely hurt the defense. It definitely did. Don't forget BetMGM, though, code A to Z Sports. They are the title sponsor of our program, of our show. BetMGM, ATOZ Sports. Austin and I have been using the app, and I will say, I've been successful. Yeah. Austin has been successful. We've won some money on sports gambling. And look, this is not just, hey, go gamble on sports. We also have created a show to help you guys, right? We're not just throwing you out to the wind. We want to teach you how to use this app in the correct way. Alan Bell of CBS Sportsline and Brian Edwards, who's a Vegas insider, they both host our show. It's called A to Z Sports Picks. We just created it. It's every Tuesday at 2 and Friday at 2 p.m. Make sure you check that out. They had some good picks yesterday. That's for damn sure.
They had some winners, that's for sure. All right, what percentage chance do you think the Titans will sign J.J. Watt? A lot of numbers flying in here, but Ed Werder reported on Friday that approximately a dozen teams have shown interest in Watt, and that includes the Steelers, Browns, Bills, and Titans. So what percentage chance will the Titans sign J.J. Watt? Notorious says 1%, Loke Dog and Fizz with 20, Ronnie with 46, Jeff Rubel with 5, Rob with a big fat 0, Justin 45, Adam 15, Christopher 0, Seth 20, Deborah 30, T. Williams says 50% chance, riding that fence, T. Will. John says 70% chance, and Jonas ups that to 75%, Quay at 40, Steven at 70 on YouTube, Guy says 10, we got 20% chance from Travis and Jake. Nate, 10. Will Dodson says 0. 18% from Scott. 37.5% from Joe Fisher. 25% right here in a row. There are a lot of percentages, Zach. A ton more flying in. I mean, you guys are all over this question for what percentage chance will the Titans sign J.J. Watt. Zach, how do you feel about this?
Well, so, it's –
real quick, there have been several 0%, and I believe as I'm quickly scrolling through, the highest is 75% from Jonas. That's what I believe is the current highest percentage. Jonas at 75% there.
So here's where I base my percentage on is one. What do we know? We know the connections with J.J. Watt. Right? That's valued. We also know the connection with the Titans. We also know the connection with Amy Adams-Strunk. We also know the connection, and this is the big one, that John Robinson said yesterday that they've reached out to him. There's interest. So there's value there. It's not just something that Titans need a pass rusher. That makes a lot of sense. That's not it. It is, and this is very similar to the situation of Jadeveon Clowney, right?
Yeah.
I thought that was, and that ended up became a Titan. So
took a while.
It did. It absolutely took a while.
This will not take that long.
Man, I'm probably right now, I think I'm 25%. I think that's where my percentage lies. And 75% is the field, right? So like I'm 25%. I actually gauge that as not terrible. I don't think it's necessarily likely. It's not over 50%, but 25% makes me feel that the Titans will go after him. This is more, I think, about J.J. Watt than the Tennessee Titans. And so that's where my percentage lies in that regard.
That makes it lower. That makes your percentage lower.
Of what?
You good there?
What are you confused on?
Well, because I was following up and you were checking your phone, but like you said that 25%, you think it's more about J.J. Watt and the Titans. So does that lower your percentage than or higher?
Yes, it's an individual. It's not about the Titans,
right? So I'm clarifying with that. So I think mine is a lot lower than 25%. Honestly, I cut yours in half. I go 12 and a half. I think one out of somebody commented says 1 in 8 chance. Paul Allen Thames. I'm right here with 12.5% chance that this happens because I think J.J. Watt will want more money than the Titans can literally afford. The Titans are in a tough situation, and he wants to cash in again. Like he's got 2 years to really make some extra money. I know he just signed a $100 million contract 5 years ago. He's not getting 17 of that because the Texans cut him with zero dead money. But J.J. Watt wants this last payday because this is the last opportunity, and I think he wants a multi-year deal. The Titans can benefit.
You do think he wants a multi-year deal?
Yes.
Why?
Because who's going to sign a 33-year-old guy with injury histories?
Another team? I mean,
right. But J.J. Watt can cash in now for a 2-year deal better than going back-to-back 1-year deals, in my opinion, because he's going to make more money when he's 32 years old off of a good season where the odds are and the history is that he does not make it through a full season next year because he doesn't do that back-to-back years anymore. And so his value will go down another year later. So I think he wants a multi-year deal to have
you could
more.
Look at it in a different light and you say he goes to a better team than the Texans, which is a 4-win team, so he won't have to play as much. So the likeliness of him being injured is less.
Yeah. So
that's what I say.
Charles asked about Green Bay.
Ignored that, but
no, okay, that's fine, man. Steven says, Austin, so the Green Bay Packers and Pittsburgh Steelers, if J.J. Watt wants more money, those two teams would be off the table. Yeah, I don't see how the Packers could do it. I mean, everybody can make it happen if they want to, but the Packers and Steelers, the Packers make more sense than the Steelers because the Packers have gone to back-to-back NFC Championship games and come up short, and they know they need to take the next step to not waste Aaron Rodgers. The Steelers are in a much more shaky situation where they're clearly declining. So the Titans, I just don't see them doing it. I don't see the Titans going in back-to-back years and landing a big-name free agent that was from the Texans with Mike Vrabel ties because the first one didn't work out either. I just think J.J. Watt goes elsewhere.
Well, and I do like the fact that John Robinson is interested, right?
Well, John Robinson was interested.
Well, you haven't seen a bunch of it was on national news yesterday on the NFL Network. They were reporting on it. You don't see a lot of other GMs with the connection with J.J. Watt. I think that's value.
No, you see this with John Robinson every year. Every February and March, there's one big name that the Titans are listed in being interested in.
And they got him last year.
Well, no, last year with Tom Brady and Jadeveon Clowney.
No. Jadeveon Clowney was the big name.
But again, like
So his history says that he doesn't just sit there and it's not all just chat. He actually did action. Now, did it work out? No, it didn't. Right? He got hurt. He went on IR. Clowney was not the $12 million man that he signed, but that's the risk and reward. You're going to take a risk. He got him.
My point is John Robinson is always picking up the phone to make the phone call to see what the interest is on the other side.
It's not all lip service. That's what I'm saying.
Of course it's not. But
there's value.
Okay, so Antonio Brown, I'm just naming the last couple of years, the big names that the Titans were kicking the tires on: John Robinson, Jadeveon Clowney, Tom Brady, and now J.J. Watt. I think they're more likely to only sign one of the four, and the one being Jadeveon Clowney. I think they're going to be interested.
Say those again? Yeah, I think you misspoke.
Antonio Brown, Tom Brady, Clowney, and J.J. Watt. Four big names.
John Robinson instead of Antonio Brown. That's what I'm saying.
Okay. So
now I understand.
Antonio Brown, they kicked the tires on. Oh, and Dominican Sue, thank you, Titans for life. It happened multiple years. So add that 5, right? They tried for Sue hard. They kicked around for Antonio Brown and passed. They got Clowney 6 months later. They really didn't actually try for Tom Brady officially. And now J.J. Watt. The odds are they're not going to sign J.J. Watt. This is what John Robinson does.
Player. Huh? When you get to a position, it's less about the team. It's more about the player. So Antonio Brown, you saying that, Antonio Brown probably didn't want to come to Tennessee. Right? He wanted to go somewhere else.
That's what we're talking about.
No, it is. That is what you're doing, because it's talking about how can you get the person.
No, I'm talking about what it means that John Robinson says they have contacted J.J. Watt. That's what I'm talking about.
And it means something.
It really doesn't mean that much, because this is what John Robinson does. He reaches out. Would you
rather him just not say anything?
No,
and be like the Bengals that never get anybody?
You're misunderstanding my point.
I guess I am.
Yes, this John Robinson picking up the phone and being interested to see what the starting point is the right thing to do. That's why he's good at his job. But that doesn't mean I think he's going to get him just because he's interested. He always is interested at this point in the conversation for any big name, because that's what John Robinson is.
I would just rather have a general manager interested than just not say anything.
I agree. Nobody's disagreeing with that. Thank you, Jeff.
I just made a statement. You don't get
okay, but it feels like you're going against what I'm saying. Is you're arguing against me is what it sounds like you're doing.
No, I'm trying to understand what you're saying. But your percentage is still 12.5. So what you're telling me one thing and your percentage is telling me the other. You're saying that that's not as a value.
I put it at 12.5%. That's a low chance for the Titans to sign a free agent in a position of need. I think there is a chance, yes, but I put it 12.5% because even with the Titans interested, it doesn't mean that the Titans are going to be willing to go the full distance on making this happen.
Okay, so J.J. Watt could be a piece to fix the Titans' pass rush problem. Here's a question that let's throw out to the public, Austin. Will John Robinson actually fix the Titans' pass rush problem this offseason? So last year, they tried. Vic Beasley, no, did not work. Jadeveon Clowney, 0 sacks, $12 million, only a handful of games played. Didn't work. Then they had to work with backups and have Harold Landry play like 95% of the snaps or whatever percentage it was, in which they told us, including Shane Big Man Bowen, said he needed to play less, but he played him more because of the situation that they're in. Man, I don't even want to get into Shane Bowen, but let's talk about John Robinson. The question is, will John Robinson fix the Titans' pass rush problem this offseason, unlike he did last season?
All right, first, Zach, tell everybody about Wilson County Hyundai.
Yeah, Wilson County Hyundai is where you need to get your vehicle. Hyundai Sonata, baby. Hyundai Elantra. Hyundai Palisade. They've got your perfect make and model at Wilson County Hyundai. If you contact them, they will give you a good deal. That is a guarantee. Payne Bone and his team will hook you up with a perfect ride for you and your family. If it's your daughter or son that's about to turn 16, the Hyundai is the perfect car. I've had mine for almost 10 years, zero problems. I absolutely love it. That's WilsonCountyHyundai.com.
A to Z Sports, powered by BetMGM. Download the app, sign up today, use our promo code ATOZ Sports, and you can get a risk-free bet up to $600. Zach turned his risk-free bet of $500 into $2,000 for the game a couple weeks ago, and his team won. But BetMGM, download that app, use our promo code ATOZ Sports for a risk-free bet up to $600. They've got great parlays, boosted odds specials. I love to take advantage of those, game props, and more. Visit BetMGM.com for terms and conditions. You must be 21 years or older. You must be present in Tennessee. And for gambling problem support, call the Tennessee Red Line at 800-889-9789. The question we're asking right now here on A to Z Sports is for your prediction. Will John Robinson fix the Titans pass rush this offseason? Zach, I'll send you to the comments.
Davidson says he better. Steven, is that a threat? Davidson with just throwing out threats on YouTube, Davidson. I mean, I kind of like it, but I'm kind of scared. So he says he better. Steven says yes, no, but I hope so from John Bell. This offseason, that's a no from Zach. Frank says no. Jeff says no. Tries to fix the secondary instead. Louis says if he pulls out Von Miller, yes. I think that's a little bit of a ridiculous comment. The Titans for Life says yes, be better, but still not the top of the league.
No, that's fair. Let's pause there. Okay, Mark, put Mark's comment back up there because I like that comment. Total fix, no. Step in the right direction, yes. So I think we have to define fix, right? What is fixing the pass rush?
To actually fix it, I think you need to be, because we know what it does to the defense. Their defense was 28th, 29th in the league.
In total defense, which is based on yards allowed.
Right.
But dead last in historically bad third down defense and historically bad in sacks.
Sacks, right? So you need to be above 15 or above.
Just top half.
Top half of sacks. Top half of sacks.
Okay.
So what's that number?
I'm looking it up right now.
Yeah, I knew I could see it in your eyes. We got to find that number because what did they finish the season with?
19 because they got 4 in the last game.
Yeah, because of Lamar Jackson.
And that no. That does not count the playoff game. They got 4 against Deshaun Watson.
Because he was running for his life.
Yes, because
now he's running away from Houston.
Yes, or at least trying to. So go back to the comments while I look up this number.
Charles says no. He acted like it wasn't an issue yesterday, which we could bring up and talk about because, look, in press conference settings, you're not going to get – John Robinson is never going to give fans what they want. He's never going to go up there and be like, yeah, you know what? We blew. We were awful. It's unacceptable. That should never happen. That's a bad job by me. I didn't give us the players or the talent, and the coaches didn't coach good enough. We were all around bad. He's just not going to say that. That's the truth. That's what you want to hear. But he did kind of, and I agree with Charles, he did downplay the biggest glaring issue on the football team. Like, it single-handedly prevented you from so many things when you were and he mentioned, hey, I don't know if you watched this. 2 things John Robinson did yesterday in that press conference. A lot of great questions being asked, as he thought, right? Great question. And the other thing, he mentioned and dropped that they were 11-5 like 2 or 3 times. So, like, he made sure, hey, they're 11-5, division champions. But he didn't say what they could have been with a legit pass rush.
Oh, yeah. All right.
What's the number?
The number is the Cleveland Browns and the Buffalo Bills were 15th and 16th in the league in sacks with 38 sacks in the regular season. The Titans have to double their production from last year to get to the middle point of the NFL.
Go find you 17 sacks, Tennessee.
Yeah, so honestly, the number they need to get to like 35 at least, right?
They're
If they
not
get
going
a
to get there. Now, different seasons, I understand, right?
I think they had some bad luck. I mean, they definitely had some bad luck, right? There were several times.
No one cares.
I understand that, but I do think Jonathan Joseph playing at safety depth kept them from getting a few sacks earlier on. Then they cut Jonathan Joseph and still couldn't sack anybody. So they have to double their production. So by fixing the pass rush, we're saying the Titans need to be around the middle of the NFL in sacks, and they need to double that production from 19 to 38, which was average last year.
Well, they won't get 19 again. They'll get upwards of the 20 somethings, and different seasons. As I said, goes different way. You have a great start to the season, and you jump off with 8 sacks in the first 3 games. Now all of a sudden you're rolling, right? You're on pace to do something.
Right. Because last year the number.
Well, that was the slight on Clowney. He'd get close, but he couldn't get the quarterback down.
No, but okay. So 2 years ago, in 2019 season, Tennessee was 14th in the NFL with 43 sacks.
That's where they need to be, 14th.
Yeah. So they just need in the mid to upper 30s. They got to double their production. So Zach, prediction time. Going back to our initial question, do you think John Robinson will fix the pass rush this offseason?
No, it's unfixable.
You think it's just completely unfixable?
Yeah.
There's nothing he can do.
Because one off season, look at the history, guys. It takes more than one off season to fix a problem that's been stemming from the draft of Kevin Dodd. We've talked about it. Kevin Dodd set you back from a second-round pick. Then you tried to amend that with Vic Beasley. Now, I think you hit on the second-round pick of Harold Landry. I think he has given you what a second-round pick should without any help.
He
right?
has zero help, and he hasn't been able to develop properly because he's playing too many snaps.
Amen. Right. So I figured, I understand Harold Landry. So you missed on Vic Beasley, bad decision. Jadeveon Clowney, honestly, you
was
overpaid.
The right decision. But that was the right decision. You didn't overpay. You got him for $12 million.
Well, you overpaid for the production. That's what I was gonna say.
Of course, but because he got hurt. Like the guy,
right?
Got hurt.
They overpaid for the production. It's just what the year is. I'm not slighting him for getting injured. It's football. You get hurt.
Yeah.
So you can't fix a problem. You can't just clean everything up real quick. This is a slow build. It's like mold in your house. You can't just go buy cleaner. Okay, it doesn't work like that. You're going to have to rebuild. You're going to have to tear down some drywall because that mold is in your house. And that's been stemming from when Kevin Dodd was drafted. What year was that?
2016.
Yeah, right? So that black mold coming at you, and that'll kill you. And it will kill your Super Bowl hopes if you don't fix the mold.
Well, because what was supposed to happen is this Kevin Dodd and Derrick Henry were the same draft class in the same round. You were supposed to be making your second contract decision on both of those guys last offseason, and Derrick Henry proved to be a great draft pick in the mid-40s in the second round, where Dodd was a complete bust at high second round pick for sure.
And let me clarify, Steven, and you guys coming in as Titans fans, me telling you the truth of what has happened. Steven says, so Zach says John Roberts should call it quits and resign now. No, I think fans should change the expectations of what is fixable. That's what I'm telling you, Steven. And I'm also telling old Tommy boy over here, Zach with the firest of dumpster fire takes. Please explain yourself, Tom, because that made so much damn sense that I'm running laps around your head because you don't understand. These are facts. You can't fix a terrible pass rush in one season. You can't. And so that's why we define the word fix. I just don't think it can be done because the Titans are I think in free agency, Austin, we have to figure out how desirable is your franchise. The Titans are more desirable than they have been in years past, but Buffalo is desirable now. Cleveland is desirable now. Kansas City is desirable now. Tampa is really desirable now. These are teams that we would never say would be desirable 3 years ago. Facts, cold, hard facts, homie. So that's why I say you can't fix this in one offseason. So that is why I answered the way that I did.
Rudy says the problem is Shane Bowen. Even if you have the best pass rusher, you have issues with the scheme. We're going to talk more about John Robinson's comments about Shane Bowen tomorrow, but I do agree with John Robinson as a whole. Here's a little teaser for tomorrow, is that it is a combination of personnel and scheme. Absolutely. The personnel of having Jonathan Joseph be your starting cornerback hurts your pass rush. It doesn't allow for those guys to get up there and play and get after the quarterback when the quick routes are wide the hell open. And you know that from the pre-snap read. So there's a lot of, and you had to play those corners that far off the ball because the corners run like a 5.5 40 because they're 36 years old in Jonathan Joseph.
All right. So old Tom has a quick solution.
Okay.
Genius. This guy is genius. And Tom watches the show. What? Austin, just go ahead and diagnose that. That'll fix it, right? That's easy.
One big free agent pickup, one draft pick, Big Jeff, boom, you got it, Zacky boy. I like how he called you Zacky boy. Look, I think the Titans need to add 2 pass rushers? Yes, absolutely. But you need more than one free agent pickup and one draft pick.
I'll just go out and buy a lottery ticket. Then my life will be easier.
Because we thought with how they allocated $20+ million last year to the pass rush that it could be pretty good. With having Landry and Beasley and Clowney with Big Jeff, you thought it was pretty good on paper. It was good in your Madden league, when you had everybody, but you can't just say that, go pick a draft guy, because guess what you have to do right now in this draft? You have to evaluate players and people completely virtually, like when you did it last year, and you failed tremendously in doing that last year.
And where do you pick?
22 overall.
Where are all the good pass rushers?
I mean, this year, honestly, there's no like elite top 10 pass rusher right now. So you actually get the benefit. Again, early draft process talk. There's a lot of quarterbacks, a lot of wide receivers, and skill players that will be littered across the top 15, which could help the Tennessee Titans.
It also could hurt them, right? Because it's risk. Now you don't know as much about them, right? Draft picks are somewhat of a crapshoot. Now we'll talk about old Panda Bear down there here in a second. That was just bad vetting. Okay. You don't miss on a guy's character that bad. And I won't even get into it yet, but what I'm saying is, really good, and there have been good elite pass rushers that have worked out. Like Montez Sweat has been pretty good, who dropped in the draft.
Yeah, and the Titans had an option to take Montez Sweat over Jeffrey Simmons, the 2 Mississippi State kids.
And Jeffrey Simmons has worked out so well. That was a good value pick.
Absolutely.
But now you put yourself in a tough spot because you've missed last year on your first-round draft pick. You can't miss back-to-back years. That, you talk about disaster, you cannot do that. And that's the tough part about being a general manager in the NFL. Your record, you are what your record is, right? We've talked about that, but really you are who your draft picks are. I mean, that's how you build. You don't have the benefit of being the team that everybody wants to go to, right? That's earned, not given. And so you got to draft really well. They cannot miss on this first-round draft pick, which should be a pass rusher.
Yeah, and that sends us into our next topic about last year's first-round draft pick and Isaiah Wilson. We throw shade on Wednesdays. John Robinson threw some shade on Tuesday, and we'll play it here on Wednesday. John Robinson throwing shade at Isaiah Wilson, and we'll talk more about the situation with last year's first-round draft pick. But first, let me tell you guys about Mandu, the Pulse of Fitness, where 1 15-minute workout equals 5+ hours in the weight room. Mandu.com. Your first workout is free. It's a 15-minute workout of full-body electronic muscle stimulation. Zach and I do it every week, at least once a week, sometimes twice a week, to get the real results. You can do this. If you have goals for your fitness in 2020 and you have no idea how to achieve those goals, spending countless hours in the weight room wasting time is not the most efficient way to do it. We're at Mandu, that is the efficient way to do it, and their trainers are highly educated in personal fitness and can help you achieve those goals. Mandu.com, your first workout is absolutely free.
A to Z Sports. Don't forget BetMGM. Download the app today. Use promo code A to Z Sports. It has been an awesome partnership. We're just getting going with BetMGM. Download the app. Austin and I use it. You guys should use it. We're helping you out right there with that promo code. They got great promotions. Code ATOZ Sports.
All right, Zach. So let's play this video from John Robinson about Isaiah Wilson. He doesn't mention Isaiah Wilson in this clip, but we all know who he's talking about.
Players to the team. That's what it's about. You know, we got to continue to add guys that are going to be about what we're going to, that are about what we're about, you know, as people, as football players, and guys that can have an impact on the game, you know, in whatever role it is. You know, you've got some of the guys that are the premium players, and you've got some guys that, you know, that pitch in there and they're role players and they're good players for you. And we've got to continue to find guys that love ball. You know, that's the one thing that we want is guys that love ball, guys that want to be pro football players, not guys that just put pro football player as their hashtag on their Instagram or their Snapchat or their Twitters. Like guys that actually want to play the game of pro football, because it's a strain. Pro football is hard, and you've got to really love football and want to do it. And that's more than just putting it on your Twitter as your occupation.
John Robinson there talking about Isaiah Wilson, because everything that Isaiah Wilson does publicly shows that he doesn't give two damns about playing football. Like I texted this to our text group the other day with a Instagram story of Isaiah Wilson. And like, when's the last time he's worked out? When's the last time Isaiah Wilson has done any type of physical activity to get ready for the season? Because at this point, he showed up to training camp out of shape and he never got in shape. He's had so many off the field issues with car accidents and other things and partying when he's not supposed to. He's supposed to be taking care of his personal life. He's blowing through money. We can all see it, unless you're blocked by him on Instagram, which I don't know how he hasn't blocked A to Z yet. But Isaiah Wilson is showing zero indication that he cares about the Tennessee Titans or football in general.
So do you, and Austin, you may or may not have this readily available, do you actually have the J.J. Watt press conference, you know, the video at the very end of the year? Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see if I can find it.
Let's see if you can find that, because when John Robinson was speaking and you talk about we want guys that love ball, it really, I went back to that J.J. Watt video, and it kind of goes full circle, because J.J. Watt essentially is calling out guys. And I thought John Robinson was calling out guys, but there's really only one guy to call out. And the one guy is Isaiah Wilson. We all know it. We all see it. I mean, go look at our YouTube. This is another reason why you should subscribe to A to Z Sports YouTube. We put out the story of him partying in Miami. That singular video has over 185,000 views of strippers on a boat. It's like a 10-second clip, right? Like, it's evidence. And that is, it's public, or it is public knowledge of that. So when I heard that John Robinson clip, and when I was in the press conference yesterday virtually, I sat there and I was like, this is the best call out, because he either gets his ass in gear or doesn't. It's like speaking, I don't know what the term is, but I'm talking through somebody else to get a message to you. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I look, old Panda Bear, old Lazy Panda, he needs to change his image and his ego.
He doesn't care to. He's not going to. And it drives me insane, because the guy's talented. And when I hear John Robinson say that the guy who showed up to training camp was not the same person we were talking to and pouring all the resources and getting to know pre-draft, the Titans got got. The Titans got got.
They got got.
Big time.
They got had. And that's unacceptable in the NFL. Don't give COVID as an alibi. That's a damn excuse.
And I don't think John Robinson's making excuses anymore.
Well, not anymore.
I think
he's gone so far down the panda tube that you can't make excuses anymore.
He no longer cares about Isaiah Wilson and thinking he can help his football team. Like you can see his facial expressions that John Robinson is done emotionally and exhausted mentally from dealing with Isaiah Wilson.
And Paul Allen Thames is absolutely correct. The Titans got catfished. They got catfished because there's a reason why you pick a guy in the first round, right? You've talked to him before. That's something John Robinson had said, is that they vetted him and they did a poor job. I don't mind doing a poor job, but we make mistakes. Humans make mistakes, character mishaps. We've all, gone out with somebody that was a stupid move, right? But this is leveraging your future. You can't get this decision wrong, and they got it massively incorrect.
And here's the reality with Isaiah Wilson. He's not just the biggest bust in Titans history. He's literally approaching the biggest bust in NFL history. He's played 4 snaps. One of them was an extra point where he got his ass kicked over, and the other 3 snaps were kneel downs. That's it. Isaiah Wilson is literally approaching being the biggest bust in NFL history. Hell, Ryan Leaf won 4 games. Jamarcus Russell played a couple years. Justin Blackmon had a 1,000-yard season, I think, before he got kicked out of the lead. There's so many other Tony Mandarich did more than Isaiah Wilson. Every big name bust you want to talk about has done more than Isaiah Wilson. He's approaching the biggest bust in NFL draft history.
All right, let's play this game. I love this game. It's a new game we've been playing. This Power to the People. What is one emoji that describes Isaiah Wilson right now? That's what I want to know. I want emoji. Comment in the comment section. Be creative. You can go panda if you want to go that, but make sure there's a river by it because it's a lazy ass panda, lazy river.
So does that mean 2 emojis or is it just 1 emoji?
You know what? I don't give a damn, right? So we're playing emoji game. You can
string together emojis.
Write a sentence with an emoji, preferably 1, but and look, Nate John comes up just a bunch of scissors. It's cut. Austin, were you surprised that they didn't release him before yesterday's press conference?
No, I don't. I think they're going to give him a chance to show up, and at some point in April, whenever the heck that's going to be, they're going to give him an opportunity to show up and try to do it. So they're not going to cut him unless. All right, I'll tell you. There's one other reason why they're going to cut Isaiah Wilson before that. But first, before we read your emojis and get our emojis, tell everybody, Zach, about Calvin and Subtle.
Yeah, calvinandsettle.com. That is where you need to get your hardwood floors. We've been featuring these bad boys. Let's dig into the hardwood floor deck and go with a little darker shade. This would look outstanding in your living room. Or look, if you got a white kitchen, I like this look. I'm a damn interior designer. You can be too. If you had a white themed kitchen where all your cabinets were white, you had great marble countertops or granite countertops, the dark would be a great contrast. Well, how you get this in your house is going online at calvinandsettle.com or 615-448-6414. If you are listening to this later on podcast, which on iTunes, SoundCloud, or Spotify, or any of the other audio mediums that we have, hop on over to Facebook, Twitch, YouTube, or Twitter, and you can see this hardwood floor. This could change your kitchen.
Yep, A to Z Sports here live on a Wednesday. Don't forget BetMGM, the king of sports books. Download the app and use our promo code when you sign up, ATOZ Sports, and you can get a risk-free bet up to $600. Zach and I are having a lot of fun with the BetMGM app. Again, download the app, use our promo code ATOZ Sports. There's a lot of great bonuses and extra sign-up bonuses that give you a lot of fun things to try out if you're new to sports betting. And I think it's pretty fun. College basketball slate's going to be great tonight. BetMGM.com from terms and conditions as well. So the question is, or what we're asking you guys to do is to comment one emoji to describe Isaiah Wilson. But Zach, you did ask me on if I was surprised or not that Isaiah Wilson has not been cut yet by the Tennessee Titans. So I think the only way he would get cut by the Tennessee Titans before they return is if he has another legal issue, right? If something happens with another car accident, which would be his third documented car accident, I believe, another public mistake, that's what would trigger an action with Isaiah Wilson. If nothing happens over the next 3 months and he doesn't show up in April for off-season training, then that's when they make the move. Those are how I see this playing out.
Let's go to the chat with emojis. A lot of poop emojis. I'm not a big guy talking about poop or your bowel movements. I don't like that. I stay away from those conversations, but we've kind of set ourselves up for disaster here. Brent, he's going to start us off right there. So does Tanner. He goes with that emoji. Tighten Up Ohio goes with the throw up. Tyler Ross clown. You've got nerd. Fake. No, I like this. Sterling, you're getting the love of the show. I like this because it is one of those, the mustache and glasses mask that you put on to it's an imposter.
Oh, well, it shows up on the screen where you have it right now as a white rectangle. It didn't translate.
Oh, it didn't?
No, it didn't translate to the screen when you put it up there.
Man, well, we see it right there on stream or where we're streaming. Thomas says he's going with the poop emoji. Sleepy on Jason Clown. We got from Rudy Caesar's throwing up. Louis says he's drinking a beer, or maybe he has Panda has the problem. Mind blown from Brad. Dumpster fire from Big Ten Jeff. We've got some funny one. Tyler explains he's going sloth. I like that. Face on or hand on face. J-Rob's gonna flick him off. Tom goes with the peach. Snake coming in from Christopher.
Snake's good.
Peace out from Danny. Party for Mr. Corey 488 because maybe his cut time. Time bomb from
That's
Ethan.
Good. That
good. Is a good one. Dynamite, which is about to explode right there from EJ Franklin Reb. Liar coming from Titans for Life.
That's a good one.
That's a good one.
I like the Pinocchio there, Titans for Life. All right, you ready for mine?
Yeah, hit me with it.
All right, I just commented mine. All right, this is trying to. I commented mine. Here is my comment. No money. The guy's about to have no money because he's spending all the money, and when the Titans cut him, they're coming after the signing bonus that they already paid Isaiah Wilson. So he will have no money by the end of this because he has screwed the Titans so royally that they will come after him for every penny that they already gave him. And he's spent a lot of money. Again, if you follow him on Instagram, you see all the cash he is blowing through. So my emojis are no money.
I like that. It kind of goes, I'm going double emoji too, because I think Isaiah Wilson is dead in the water. I think that there's no opportunity for him to last with the Titans. Now, will he get another opportunity somewhere else? Probably not. But my emoji is dead in the water. And that's an expression that you can use. Like, I wish zero harm upon the man. But I think in this situation, he is too far in to dig himself out. He can't get out. And so that is my two emoji.
Jeff Rubel says I could have done it in one emoji with the money with wings because
consolidation.
It's just flying away from Isaiah Wilson. He's just letting his money go.
He's not self-aware, and that is also a problem.
Or he is, and he just really doesn't care. Like that's the craziest thing is like maybe he is self-aware. Because whenever I heard Isaiah Wilson speak after he was drafted in other Zoom press conferences, I was like, this guy seems smart. He was on the bus with LaJuan and Compton. Like he seemed like he seemed like a deep thinking person. And maybe
you know
maybe that's how the Titans get fooled so hard.
And Josh Martin brings up a good point, and this is where I'm at with it. I think a lot of people are. He says, "Won't you guys be glad when he's gone and don't have to talk about it anymore?" I'm at that point, Austin. I am. Like, it's no longer at the beginning. It was kind of like, okay, this guy's making some dumb moves. He's making some decisions. Oh, there goes another one, and then another one, and then I become DJ Khaled and another one, and now it's just become it's too much. I've lost kind of interest in his downfall. I want the Titans to just cut his ass, but there has to be a philosophy on why they haven't.
And I think it's that they've invested so much in him because he's a first-round draft pick that they're going to give him at least a chance to show up. So they can.
31 other teams will try to see what he's worth, right? I mean, that will happen.
I don't know, man.
I do. I think the league doesn't care,
man. I don't think this situation has been so bad. If he shows up in April, he is going to be so out of shape that the Titans are going to basically work him out for like 2 months and he'll be cut early training camp. If he shows up in April, I'm not putting money on him showing up in April.
Yeah, I'm not either.
And Rudy says being cut will be his wake-up call. He's been sleeping through alarms this entire time. Like, what a wake-up call. What was the trying to jump off of a second-story balcony in August a wake-up call?
It's a bold move, Cotton.
Was the first car accident a wake-up call? Was being on the COVID list for a month and a half a wake-up call? The second car accident a wake-up call? New Year's Eve? I mean, we can keep going through, and there's no way he will play a snap of football in the NFL moving forward. I think
Josh is right. He's so out of shape. Has he ever been in shape?
Exactly.
I mean, as a pro, he has not been in shape.
No, not even close to it. He shows up out of shape, and then from what he's been doing, there's no way he's been in shape. No way.
Yeah. Well,
and I'm with Ethan. I think John Robinson will warn other GMs privately to stay far, far away. And I agree with that. I think there is no way another NFL team does anything to bring him in. He is that worthless.
I'd be surprised. I think NFL teams are willing to do whatever. I mean, we've just seen the history of the league. I know this is a different situation, but teams are willing to take chances on guys with storied pasts. I mean, it's just the facts.
Yeah, but not a guy who showed zero. Because even when he was practicing, you remember how bad he was? He was like third or fourth string tackle in camp. Like, he was that bad.
And they need a tackle. Good. That's the problem. They need a tackle.
And they needed a tackle, and they continued to need more tackles, and they did not turn to him.
Right pick, wrong guy.
Well, right positional pick. Wrong guy.
Yeah.
So
right
wrong
pick. Right pick, wrong guy.
Well, I don't completely agree with that because it was the wrong pick.
It's the right pick to draft a tackle.
Right positional.
That's the right pick.
Right to pick a tackle.
The wrong guy.
The wrong guy.
The right pick and the wrong guy.
That's too simplified. Right position.
No, but be simple.
I'm not.
That's the issue.
No, because it was the wrong pick.
No, it's the wrong guy.
Yes.
It's the guy that's wrong.
I'm never saying right pick, wrong guy. Right position, wrong guy.
That's the pick. That's the pick.
I'm not getting that. That's too simple. A to Z Sports. Let's throw some shit. I know there is such thing as too simple, and right pick, wrong guy is too simple when it comes to Isaiah Wilson. Okay, Zach, it's time to throw shade. We are loaded with shade today. Absolutely loaded with shade on a Wednesday. But first, let me tell you guys about Renters Warehouse, renterswarehouse.com, the professional landlords in the Nashville area. Renterswarehouse.com is where to go to find out how much your home can rent for. There are so many different ways you can use Renters Warehouse to your benefits to create extra cash flows for you and your family. Selling your house is fine. It's just a one-time transaction, and if that's the way you want to go, no worries about it. But you can turn that home into a money-making machine by renting it out, getting that long-term equity, which creates long-term wealth. RentersWarehouse.com. They can make it happen for you. RentersWarehouse.com.
A to Z Sports, don't go anywhere. Don't leave. Actually, invite your friends because this shade is going to be really, really good. I just have an inkling or a feeling this is going to be one of our better shade sessions per se. So in the comment section, make sure you comment your shade. We do this every Wednesday. Something that's ticked you off, that's bothered you. You seen it on the internet. It happened in your personal life, whatever. Snow canceling your trip to the Florida Keys. That's driving me nuts. Possibly canceling.
It hasn't yet happened.
It has not yet happened.
Probably will, though.
It has not yet happened.
All right. So you have multiple shade, right?
I do. Shade sandwich is perfect.
Well, there is a good shade that I want to bring up. Tom says shade on Buck for not knowing how to swim or use the inequality symbols. That was really funny because Buck screwed up a poll on our Twitter yesterday about JJ Watt, about greater than 5 million, $5 to $10 million, or less than $10 million. He created 3 options that were all the same thing because he doesn't know how to use inequalities. That was hilarious. So good shade there, Tom.
Absolutely. All right. Sit back and listen up. This is going to make my blood boil. It did when I saw it. I didn't tweet anything out because I wanted to save it for this moment in time this week. Take a listen to this news story. This woman, I've got to be careful. Just listen to the news story and we'll react together. And I will react because this is the most ridiculous thing in our soft-assed society.
And it takes a lot of work, a lot of hard work, a lot of hours go into it. It just really upset me that this trophy was disgraced and disrespected by being thrown as if it was a real football. I didn't sleep for the past 2 nights because of this. I was that upset because I know the passion that goes into this trophy and how my dad and all his fellow silversmiths are so proud to make this. I personally would like an apology, not just to me and my family and the other silversmiths, but to the fans.
So that woman's dad made the Vince Lombardi trophy. He's a silversmith. And she's now offended that Tom Brady threw it from boat to boat, caught by Cameron Brate, just like the touchdown pass he caught in the NFC Championship game against the Green Bay Packers. And this woman is in her feels. Like, go jump in a river, woman. Like, stop being offended by everything. It's a football, okay? It's shaped as a football. What is the concept of a football? You throw a football, okay? So don't get offended, lady. Jeez. Like the Karens of Karen. We've talked about Karens or the Geoffs. This is Karen and Geoff. If they had a daughter or a son, this is that woman.
Puka stole my comment. Good thing her dad did make the Stanley Cup, because the things that happen to the Stanley Cup are way worse and, on her terms, more disrespectful to what happened to her trophy.
Well, she probably just awoke from her coma from Gronk a couple of years ago, bunting with her father's trophy, right? She probably just got out.
That is really
her first thing to do is bitch and moan about Tom Brady, the greatest quarterback of all time, doing whatever the hell he wants because he's got 6 other of those bad boys.
Yes, no doubt about that. So we go from the GOAT Tom Brady to somebody who will never live up to my GOAT. My GOAT would never do this. This is my shade, MJ.
Again, the bigs are always afraid of getting beat off the dribble, so they give him space.
A logo by LeBron. He had time, but he decided to pull up.
What the hell was that, LeBron? That was the laziest thing you could have. Like, why would you even try to think about shooting that shot? You have time. It's a 2-point game. I get it. It's at the end of the third quarter, but what the hell are you thinking? That is so lazy. Let's watch it again.
Again, the bigs are always afraid of getting beat off the dribble, so they give him space.
A logo by LeBron. He had time, but he decided to pull up.
What an arrogant player. Like, who does that? Nobody does that. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. It's a lazy shot. It's stupid. Defend your boy, Zach.
Austin, don't bring a knife to a gunfight.
Oh, my God.
He gave him too much club. The end of the quarter, James. Oh, yeah! He did it again! You like that, Chicago?
That was special. Oh, that was special. Mainly because as he checks the clock and he comes up the floor, Rose is right there.
Yikes,
Zach,
was that in Chicago, big dog, huh?
That was at the buzzer, dude. That was at the actual buzzer. That was a legitimate buzzer beater at half court. This is not where he's slow dribbling and chooses to shoot.
Again, the bigs are always afraid of getting beat off the dribble, so they give him space. A logo.
He shot that with 4 seconds left. What the?
Who
Those two
cares?
are not the same. I care. It's ridiculous.
You don't care. Oh, wait. What? Check yourself, because I'm just pulling out a pistol while you just got a ship.
And it's Davis who pulls down the rebound, outduels LeBron for that board. And how about James? Oh, long-range missile for LeBron James. And they're looking at the spot on the floor where he shot it, a 40-footer plus for LeBron James. He's done this the
How much
It's
time's
stupid.
left on the clock?
Yeah,
big
that's
dog?
a dumb shot. That's a dumb, arrogant shot. Why would he do that? It's so ridiculous. It's so ridiculous.
Woo! Man, that's too bad, Austin. You could, if you want to pull punches, I got check
Pull
one,
punches.
two, check
Pull
one,
punches
two
means-
right here.
Zach,
Those are great
you know what pull
instances on
punches
why
means?
your shade blows.
Do you know
That's
what
my
pull
second
punches means?
shade.
You're botching sayings. Pull punches means you don't punch. I'm not pulling punches. I'm throwing punches because LeBron James.
You're whiffing. You are missing every single punch you threw because you just got owned.
No,
you
I
got
did not.
terrorized.
It's stupid.
You
It's
need to
stupid.
take a nap
Thank you,
after
Chad.
that.
I should have pulled the video of LeBron's ridiculous flop against the Grizzlies a couple of years ago where Grayson Allen didn't do anything and LeBron looked like he got actual shot in this gunfight that you say you're doing.
You're like Juan saying that he's making a mockery of the game. That's the most ridiculous. You know what? You two sound like Karen. You sound like this woman complaining
It
about.
takes a lot of work, a lot of hard work, a lot of hours go into it. It just really upset me that this trophy was disgraced and disrespected by being.
That's what you sound like. You and Juan sounding like a bunch of Karens upset and, oh no, why did LeBron? You know who won the game last night?
The Lakers did, of course, and I
Bingo.
bet them to. Like, I'm not talking like it was, but the arrogance.
Your point is a bad point.
It's ridiculous.
You're ridiculous. That's
it's
the
a
point.
stupid.
You
wasteful
are
thing to do.
ridiculous. This take is ridiculous, and I love how I have just destroyed you.
That's fine.
With
You
two
can believe in
clips.
your own mind that you're destroying me. LeBron plays basketball ridiculously lazy sometimes, and he flops, and that's why he's annoying. He's very annoying. That's fine. Was that the end of your shade?
Yeah, that was my shade.
Oh, so in the so before the show, when I asked you, are you trying to hide the extra videos from? And you go, oh no, you just lied to me. Is that what happened?
Well, yeah, because I wanted to destroy you live
So-
on air.
so then
Because
just
I knew
say-
what you were doing.
so
I
just
saw
say-
your video, and
so
I
just-
saw your dumbass tweet from whether it was this morning or last. I saw
night.
it.
So you
It's
lied to me. So you
Twitter-
just straight up lied to me. You could have just said,
Twitter-
yes, I'm hiding it.
Twitter
That's fine.
is a public site. I knew what you were going to
That's
do,
fine.
and I knew that this
That's
shade was going
fine.
to be so bad that I had to put you in your place.
Just don't lie to me before the show starts. When I
I
asked
wanted
you,
to embarrass you live on air because you
You
embarrassed
could've
yourself
said-
with that take.
Zach, you
You
could have
followed
said,
up
yes,
2
I'm
days.
hiding it from you, and I would have said, okay. Like, that's not a big deal. You just lied to me, though.
Yeah, I wanted to surprise. Yeah, it's a surprise. It's because there was a terrible take.
Okay, because I knew you would do that. Anyway, but thanks.
Absolutely.
Appreciate it. Appreciate it. All right.
Absolutely.
God.
What's the basis of the take? You have no basis. That
Of
he's
what
making
take?
a mockery of the game?
No,
Like,
I
what
didn't
is
say
it?
that. I did not say that. I think LeBron is arrogant and lazy, and that's a ridiculous shot.
He's
Ridiculous
arrogant
to do
and lazy. Why
Yes.
is he arrogant and lazy?
He's arrogant, and that he tries to be that. He tries to flex, and he barely hits the net. It's ridiculous. It's stupid.
He's leading. He's the MVP. so far in the season. Be better, Austin. Be better.
That has nothing to do with him being
It does.
I don't like LeBron because he pulls stunts like that. He pulls stunts like that and the flop of the other night against the Grizzlies. Ridiculous.
You sound like the Karen getting mad at Tom Brady. Do you understand that?
Zach, we're throwing shade. We get mad at people. That's the segment.
But it's a bad shade.
All right. We'll move on. We'll go ahead and wrap this up. We've got meetings today, so we got to
knew that was going to happen.
I know, and I didn't shy away from it. I actually asked if you were trying to hide videos, and you said no. You just lied to me for whatever reason.
Yeah, because I wanted to embarrass you.
You could have said yes.
How terrible the take was.
Zach,
You knew what you were doing.
I'm not against you
You
hiding
knew what
videos
you were
for
doing.
theatrical purposes.
You knew what you were doing.
Obviously, and I asked you if you were doing something. I was upfront with it. So you're welcome.
You didn't say anything.
Huh? I uploaded the video like I'm supposed to do.
You didn't say anything.
Right, we're done. We're over. The show's over. That's it.
Don't say you said something because you didn't.
Okay. All right. End of today's show. We'll see if Zach's flight gets to take off tomorrow, if he gets an early weekend or not. You think your flight's going to happen?
I don't know.
Okay.
All I know is that LeBron dunked in your face.
Why? No. I don't care about LeBron. LeBron does stupid things like this all the time. You take it personal when anybody goes after LeBron.
Because it was bad. Like if you would have done the flop, Austin, let's talk about this. If you would have pulled his flop from the Grizzlies game, I would have agreed. It was a flop.
No, you would have found a way to
That's
to
you
bury,
assuming and being an ass for assuming. Because you don't know.
Now you're
if you would have pulled that, I would have agreed with that shade. But the fact that I sat there and destroyed your shade on Chicago too, because you wanted to do your pressers Michael Jordan, and then I got an early clip from his younger years, and I was prepared for you to say, well, he was young, he was spry. He did that last year and pulled it from even deeper.
It's because you love LeBron so much, you're taking this personally. Like that's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, I'm going to support him.
All right. We'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Maybe Zach will be here. We'll see. I hope Zach gets to go on his vacation. I want Zach to go on a vacation. That's fine. But I doubt it. I doubt it happens. So maybe we'll see you guys tomorrow. I'll be here tomorrow morning regardless. But we're going to have a good show tomorrow. So thanks for watching, guys. Have a great Wednesday. We'll see you later.